Relationship between screen time and physical health, Paul Laberius. Prolonged screen time can have a negative effect on the human body and physical health. You are exposed to blue light every day. Despite blue light being a naturally occurring substance, blue light has manifested itself into the technology that we use on a daily basis. This can be things such as your phone, your laptop, your tablet, and blue lights can also be found in LED lights and fluorescent lights, which are found in shops and towns. Since you're being exposed to blue light every day, it's important to keep in mind the risk associated with it. And yes, there are risks. Blue light has been proven to have a direct link to something called CVS. CVS, which stands for computer vision syndrome, also known as digital eye strain, is a series of health-related problems that have to do with your eye. Since your eyes get exposed to blue light, this can cause things such as red eyes, dry eyes, itchy eyes, double vision, blurred vision. You know, you've been there. One of the most important symptoms that I would like to focus on are headaches. The reason I'm focusing on the symptoms of headaches is because there is evidence to back up the correlation between blue lights and this effect. According to a Harvard study conducted in 2016 on patients with migraines, the ones exposed to blue lights actually got worse compared to those exposed to red lights and green lights. According to the National Institute of Health, just around 60 million adults suffer CVS. So this is something that has been proven true, and this is probably caused because blue light signals are most retained by your eyes and your cortex. Another reason why blue light has a negative effect on your health, and such as technology as well, is because it interferes with your natural circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is your natural internal biological alarm clock, which basically tells your body when it should be going to sleep and when it should be awake. This is a definition that I found on sleepfoundation.org, by the way. And I know I said that blue light is bad, but it's also important to realize that it is a naturally occurring thing. During the day, blue light is responsible for boosting our attention, our reaction times, and our overall mood. However, when you're trying to go to bed, you don't necessarily want to be exposed to blue light because it's going to cause these exact things. An important thing to keep in mind is that blue light actually suppresses the production of melatonin, which is the chemical that your body makes when it wants to go to bed. On this slide, I've included a quote by Stephen Lockley, who is a Harvard sleep researcher, and it says that a mere 8 lux, a level of brightness exceeded by most table lamps and about twice that of a nightlight, has that effect. That effect being disrupting your circadian rhythm. That being said, blue light affects your sleep schedule. And I also have another research to back this up, because I also have another Harvard research which had 2 types of groups, one exposed to blue light and one exposed to green light. And we have the stats where people who were exposed to blue light actually had twice as hard time falling asleep compared to those exposed to green light. This is because their circadian rhythm was actually shifted 2 times worse than those exposed to green light. This data was proven in blue light users taking about 3 hours to fall asleep compared to the green light users, which only took about 1.5. The last thing I want to focus on is sedentary behaviors caused by blue lights and technology. I'm going to use a little note card definition for this. So, sedentary behavior is defined as sitting, lying down, and engaging in behaviors including TV viewing, video game playing, computer use, driving, and reading. All of these including little to no energy. So basically, if you've ever watched a movie or binged a Netflix show, you've been engaging in sedentary behavior. However, this has negative effects on health. This is proven because sedentary behaviors actually reduce physical exercise in the human body. Some data that I want to bring up is that there's a Harvard study conducted in 2016 where people who had their circadian rhythm shifted, which is what I just mentioned in my previous point, actually had higher levels of sugar in their blood. So this actually proves a direct link between sedentary behaviors and increased chance of getting diabetes. This brings me to my quote on the next slide, which says that screen time affects the health of adults and is associated with obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and premature death. This quote was said by Callie Davis, who has a PhD at the Center of Physical Activity Studies in Australia, and was said in 2015. This is important to keep in mind because this proves that Blue light and prolonged use of technology actually reduces physical activity. Another study conducted on just college students actually proved the same thing, because the more you use your phone, the less you sleep. And the less you sleep, the less likely you're going to have energy to do physical activity, and you're most likely to get depression. All points considered, the big takeaway today is that prolonged screen time has short-term effects, such as your lack of vision, your blurred vision, your little need of eye drops, and long-term effects on your body, because it also has serious issues such as reducing your physical activity, which is going to result in bad things in the long term.